Welcome to whiskeypreacher.com. I'm your host, Phil Shepard, better known as the Whiskey Preacher, and I've entitled this vidcast, Is It Wrong? And this vidcast is stemmed from the gathering conversation that we had at the Eucatastrophe this past Sunday. As many of you know, we've begun this series entitled, Who the Hell is Jesus? And this last week, it was my week to teach and to lead the conversation, and it was on the personal Jesus. And one of the questions that arose from that conversation is it wrong to want to have a personal Jesus? Is it wrong to want something more than just a personal Jesus? And for those of us who grew up in an evangelical background, that's a real hard question to ask and to chew on. And it might not be for some of you, but for me who up until recent, I should say recent, in the last 10 years or so, I was born and bred in the evangelical world. And even though I've been in this emergent missional conversation probably for the last 15 years or plus, it's still the language that I knew the best for a very long time. And so I was even surprised when that question came out of me during that conversation Sunday night. And I was even more surprised from the answers that I got. Specifically, one of the answers was yes, I think it's wrong to want a personal Jesus. That exemplifies the idea of a consumer mentality, that it's all about me and not the rest of the creation. And I thought that was a very valid point. And one of the other answers, obviously I'm paraphrasing these answers, but was that, it seems like Jesus is much more than just a personal best friend or girlfriend or boyfriend, that Jesus is the ultimate representation of love, and that Jesus calls us into not necessarily personal salvation, but community and this ethic of love and this rhythm of love, I should say, or as Scott McKnight would say, the Jesus ethic. I think those are the terms that he uses, or the Jesus creed. Another friend of mine has used the Jesus ethic. But I want to propose the question to you all on here, and again, I want you to use the hashtag for the Whiskey Preacher, which is the # Whiskey Preacher. And you can also add the uke, since this conversation is stemmed from the uke, and which is # the uke. What do you think? Do you think it's wrong to identify your relationship with Jesus as personal, or is there more to it? Is there more than just a personal relationship with Jesus? Is it more global? Is it more even words that we haven't even articulated yet? Is there something more to this Jesus character than our own personal consumption? And again, I would love to hear your comments, read your comments. You can leave a comment in the comment section below, and or you can visit the Whiskey Preacher fan site on Facebook, which you also can like. And don't forget, I just added whiskey updates, and you can click on that above and subscribe to the newsletter that I'm going to be sending out probably once a week. I'm going to wait till I generate a large enough list to make it worth my while, which hopefully will be in the next week or so. And I'll have exclusive information, interviews, podcasts, vidcasts, articles that I've written that will only be available through the Whiskey Updates. Can't wait to hear and read your comments. Thanks for joining us here on the Whiskey Preacher.